Ugh, this show is a joke. Such a joke. Ugh.
With Keith Pinnell and Jason Tudor.
Hey kids, greetings. It is your pals Jason and Keith back again for another edition of This Show is a Joke. It's a JK. There's your pal Keith in the upper left-hand corner. I am in your lower right-hand corner enjoying this wonderful Belgian beer called Golden Carolus Imperial Blonde Cuvée Van de Keyser. Whatever. It's good and it's 10%, Keith, and that's really all that matters. Cheers.
Wow. I've got a little glass, what was left in the bottle of a
Coke?
red wine I bought at the Christmas Bazaar that was back at Christmas time.
I just noticed that the Facebook is subtitling us, and it's getting it off It's getting it pretty well. It's getting it pretty good. It's actually doing it on the fly. So if you're deaf and listening to us, welcome. Or hearing impaired. I think I'm supposed to say hearing impaired. I think that's the way to go. So we're live again, and we're trying to figure out which platform we're using. Tonight it's Facebook, and we're going to see if this one's going to stick. We have a Facebook page that has started, but as you could see from the broadcast here, we are also on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. We're also in a number of other places on my blog. You can get us just about everywhere. You can get just about every other podcast, so it's not a big surprise or a big deal to find us on the air. Keith and I are... what ZZ Top said, we're bad and we're nationwide.
We are nation. That's kind of scary,
right?
Actually.
So what's new? What's going on?
See, I'm trying to find it on my phone, and I'm just not smart enough to do it. Let's see. What did I do today? Oh,
what are you trying to find? What were you trying to find on your phone?
The video. Our video.
Oh, okay.
Our live broadcast.
That's because Dell fucked up your computer, and now you can't watch it on your own computer, like I am.
No, I'm trying to do it on my phone.
It's right here. It's big, like this. Oh. It's 55 inches right above my head. It's gigantic.
No, I found it because now I'm hearing what I said about 5 seconds ago.
Well, you need to mute that, or it's going to recycle over and over again. It's going to mess up the broadcast. That's not good. And our one viewer is going to be mad that they are here. One viewer, cheers to you for joining us, by the way. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, regale us on what you did today. I want to hear
it. So first of all, apparently there's a worldwide honey bun shortage.
No shit.
Because for about the last month, I've been in both commissaries we have access to here in Kaiserslautern,
right?
And they have not had honey buns, which is annoying. But I can eat other things for breakfast. Now I've gone to waffles, and since I'm not pressed for time,
Lego waffles are the best.
That's
waffles.
What I have.
Eggo buttermilk waffles with butter and real fucking maple syrup, not the fake corn syrup $2 bottle. Real $7 maple syrup from Vermont or Canada or whatever tree they extracted out of New York. There's a good amount of it comes out of like upstate New York. That's good shit. So I'm with you.
Did you say Lego waffles?
I did. I totally said Lego waffles because I was thinking Lego my Eggo.
Down.
Yeah. Well, I'm about halfway through this bottle. Actually, I'm a little more than halfway through. So that makes perfect sense as to why I said Lego. So you scheduled an appointment for a haircut, is that right?
I did. That's where I was going with this. After the commissary, I went to the BX,
right?
And I walked in, and like you said, as we talked beforehand, there was 3 people there getting their haircut.
Right.
Now, in between the barber chairs, they have one crossed
like
out,
hazmat suits
over for social distancing or physical distancing, whatever you're calling it.
Right.
And so then I happened to look down and use my eyeballs. It said haircuts in this lane.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the other side of the doorway, it said to schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
So I think for the first time in my life, I have scheduled a haircut. So I go Monday afternoon.
I had a Supercuts close to me, my house in Georgia, and they were fantastic. And when I started relying on them toward the end of before I came here, but before that I would just go to the base barber shop. But the base barber shop started really fucking up my hair. I mean, like mohawking my hair. And I was like, I can't have that. I work at the VA. I'm not that military. So I went to the Supercuts, and I found this barber. She was fantastic. She knew exactly how my hair should be cut and how I wanted it cut, and that was fantastic. So I do miss her. But so I went to the BX today as well, thinking, well, I got to pick up, of course, Mother's Day stuff, and I got some new dress shirts, blah 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 blah. But also, I thought we were walking out of the thing and going to another thing, and I was like, oh, there's the haircuttery. I should go over and get a haircut. And I looked in, I'm like, there's nobody fucking in there. This is fantastic. So I dun 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 walked over, see it, and it's like appointments only, and I was like, shit. So I mean that makes sense. They have to put the spigot on it and regulate it. I totally get it. But it was just this thing. Let me show you this mop real quick. Hang on. I mean, look at this thing. It's got hair. There's hair everywhere. It's flying around. It's really the longest it's been in a very. I'm gonna put my hat back on. It's been a very long journey for this hair, and yours is. Geez, you're like Bob Dylan. Look at that fro.
I mean, yeah.
What a fro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Thank you.
So the thing that is happening now. If there is a deity, if there is a God, then he's fucking with us right now. Because while we were under the stringent requirements of COVID, what kind of weather did we have? We had the most fucking beautiful weather a human being could ever endure. 72, 73. There wasn't a cloud. The nearest cloud was in like Morocco or Djibouti. It was far, far away, right?
Right.
They start loosening up restrictions. They start allowing you to do things. Keith, tell them what the weather's like today.
Today it was about the temperature wasn't too bad. It was low 60s, but it's been cloudy and rainy since about 10 o'clock last night.
That is correct.
Now, that's a great segue because on Thursday afternoon it was absolutely gorgeous.
Right.
And you and I got out in it.
We did. And so we're going to talk about that later, though. I want to save that before we get to your bracket because that is some funny shit. So we'll definitely get into that. But I want that to be the second best thing we do aside from whatever this mystery bracket you have is. So the thing I saw today was I saw Dana White on TV, and I had no idea. You know who Dana White is, right?
Yeah.
President of UFC. And if you're listening or watching, he's the president of UFC. He's very bald, and he's very angry, but he's smart and he makes a lot of money, so I much respect to him, very much so.
He looks like the Kingpin from Spider-Man.
He does. He looks like just a midget Kingpin. He's just like they took a shrink ray and went mini Kingpin, right? It's the mini me of Kingpin. That's it. He's the mini me of Kingpin. There it is. So anyway, he was on today talking about the UFC returning, right? And he said they're bringing it back, of course. They're not going to put any stadiums in, so on and so forth. But what I didn't know is he is an advisor of people advising the president on when to sort of bring the economy back and recommendations and so on and so forth. And I thought that was interesting. I think you can hear the sarcasm in my voice that he was part of that. Now, I shouldn't laugh. Again, the guy's made a shit ton of money, and he knows how to run a business. So I'm sort of half-heartedly doing this. But on the other hand, having him on that panel versus like some great economists or something like that is just unusual. Anyway, so what he said was, and I want to get your take on this. What he said was, number one, televised sports. We need to get that going again. Number two is the economy itself. Get people back to work, get people working, blah, blah, blah. Number three was get kids back to school. That was Dana White's parable on what we should be doing to fix the economy. What do you think?
I think his order is way off.
Yeah.
But I say that with a caveat because you and I are both huge sports fans, especially the sports that are coming up.
Correct.
Football. Even you're a huge baseball fan. I know.
I'm probably a bigger baseball fan than I need to be, but I absolutely love the Los Angeles Dodgers and everything about the Los Angeles Dodgers.
So my thought in that, and this is just purely coming out of my brain as you have said this to me, is if people are watching sports, NASCAR starts next week.
Right.
If
I was going to bring that up too.
Watching sports, they're not out doing other things.
That's right.
They are home.
Yeah.
They are, now they may be out getting whatever food or whatever, restaurants and that kind of thing,
Right.
but they're not out shooting security cops for the most part. They're not out complaining and protesting with their AR rifles on the state capitol steps.
Right.
They're doing that. However, I think his orders mixed up.
I had Lego, you had mixed up. More wine.
It's wine.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the economy needs to come back, but smartly. You have to do it smartly because sports, say, whatever, you make it pay-per-view, which will never happen, but
right.
You have people buying stuff to sit at home and watch sports. Let's say that.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
That does not affect the postal worker. That does not affect the car wash owner. Wash owner.
What are you, from Michigan?
That does not affect the hardware store owner.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
So you get the economy back first. You get kids back in school, although it's getting to the point now where what's the use?
Yeah, it's toward the end of the year. I mean, as long as they're
Right.
I think a lot of schools have given up on the idea of teleteaching, which fortunately my daughter's school has not. Not that my daughter is a great participant in that, but that's another show for another time. But at least there are many schools making an effort to continue to do the Teletubbies, or the teleteaching, rather. So I did that on purpose, by the way. I did not mean. I meant to say Teletubbies. So if you laughed, laugh hard. I think very much so that I don't necessarily. I think he just had 1 and 2 out of line. I think the United States has not put a priority on education in a very long time. And there was no way that get the kids back to school was going to be at 1. But, of course, getting people back to work and making sure they don't lose jobs and things like that is very important. And people are starting to, crow about this. There was a protest in Stuttgart today, as you saw from my feed, that says this whole thing is a fake battle of bullshit and you all need to just let us go back to what we were doing. And you know what? Okay, great. Let's do that. Let's have everybody go back to doing what they were doing. And let's just let Darwin take over, right? Let's just let the virus affect who it's going to affect. See, the problem is that it's not necessarily that people will get infected and so on and so forth. It's the capacity of our health system to be able to handle this mess. And those folks, those first responders who have to go pick you up from your house in a paramedic ambulance for $900, or probably more now. It was like $300 when they picked me up in an ambulance when I was 17. Bring you to the hospital, into the ER, and then, I'll just give you, so in the ER, they categorize you from 1 to 5. Basically, if you're a 5, you are the lowest priority. It's like you come in with sniffles. But if you're a 1, I think I might be screwing this up, but it's something like this. There are tiers, right? And if you're a 1, that means your eye is hanging out or your arm might fall off and you have to be treated immediately. Heart attack people, so on and so forth.
Life and limb, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So now imagine compounding that with all of these people who have this mystery flu that they don't have a vaccine for. Now they've got to treat it and try to save their lives because the Hippocratic Oath says they have to. Now what you're doing is overwhelming the system with this selfishness of let's get back to work, because that's, to me, what's going to happen. So I don't disagree with what Dana White said. I have my differences with him as a spectator, but who cares? He's going to make his money anyway. But if I were tiering it the way he did, I honestly could give a shit about televised sports. It is a distraction for me, but I have other distractions, as you know. I have plenty to do outside of televised sports, and I love televised sports. But I think helping people get back to their jobs in a safe way, getting people back to school so we can bolster our education, those sorts of things, and then maybe televised sports is a third. Of course, he has a selfish interest in it. He wants to get his back, but he's coming back next week. I think the Bundesliga is coming back next week too, right? Aren't they? I think their soccer is going to resume in Germany with no people in the stands. I'm pretty sure that's the thing as well. And I think the other leagues are sort of looking at, okay, how can we come back? But the problem with the other American leagues is they have very powerful players' unions, as they should. And if the players' unions are like, hey, fuck that, I'm not coming back in the middle of some virus thing, then they won't. I mean, it's just that simple. Right. So, yeah, it was an interesting note from him. And again, I don't necessarily think he's wrong. I just think the order of the priority is out of place, right? Or am I off?
And half the country has already graduated.
Right, right.
So, you have those that have already graduated, and now they're saying, no, everybody get back in school. Well, that's stupid. You can't do that.
Right.
You mentioned doctors and graduation and education system. That reminded me of, again, something I saw on Facebook. It was a great meme that made me laugh out loud. Mm-hmm. Somebody being an asshole racist said, remember the time, what happened? Remember when we could pronounce doctors' names? Mm-hmm. What happened? And the answer was perfect. It said, the American education system. I mean, when the American education system has let us down and nobody wants to be a doctor.
No.
Not many people want to be a doctor.
Right.
Kids.
Right.
So anyway.
It's important.
So moving on.
Education matters. It's shown that it matters in other countries. It's shown that it matters in terms of how you bolster a nation and how smart your populace is and how they can do things for the populace in and of itself. We're in a very strange, difficult, odd, weird time right now, and I think that's all I'll say about that. Do you know, my dear friend Keith, that they are using, and I'm just looking at my notes here, robo-dogs in Singapore to police social distancing? Now, have you seen any of the videos online of the fucking Terminator robots that I think it's Boston Robotics or Boston Machines or something like that is building? Have you seen any of those?
No.
Okay, so they're ultra scary because I have to look it up. I'll look it up later. But the Boston Robotics has built these machines that could simulate like running four-legged animals, and I mean they're pretty amazing. They've simulated a human.
Some of those, yes, I've seen those.
Yeah. So now,
yes.
I'm pretty sure these are their creations. These robo-dogs are in Singapore, in all the crowded areas. Singapore is pretty populated anyway, policing the social distancing, apparently saying something like, don't forget to keep your 2 meters of distance and yada, yada, yada. But I was just thinking, we're at a point in our lives right now, you're almost as old as I am as old as I am, where robo-dogs are policing our society.
Yeah, it's weird.
Nothing?
And you think people have a problem wearing a mask.
Oh, my God.
Imagine somebody trying to take an order from a robo-dog.
Just taking a Louisville Slugger from a rowboat to a robo-dog. Fuck you! Die, you piece of shit robot. This is interesting. So in Virginia, Keith, a man who is waiting to cash his $1,000 lottery ticket, which by all estimations, when state and federal rob you of taxes, is somewhere around $610, $612.
Right.
Won again. He won $178,000.
That bastard.
Why does that never happen to us?
Man, Oklahoma had the power.
Did they have a lottery?
And I did not play twice a week.
Right.
I did not play twice a week, every week.
Mm-hmm.
But I played now and again, and especially when it got big.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple of times when I won $2,
right,
$4, $12. I think is the highest I've ever won.
$12.
And the guy, you tell me because I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah,
the guy's probably 78 years old.
Didn't see that part. I just scribbled down that he won. Really, that's all. I just thought it was an interesting note. There was, I think when I was young, I was probably 9 or 10 when the California lottery started up, and people would get pissed off because the initial first wave of people who won the lottery were all immigrants who didn't speak the language, literally. Like, there may have been one or two people who were like, oh, I'm so excited, but the rest of the people they had on, because they had a show, right, and each week they'd have a show, and it's like, here is so-and-so, and he'd go, I don't speak the language, I'm not going to talk right now. But then someone else would come on the next week, and they'd be like, I'm happy. So a lot of people were pissed off about that. But then what happened was, they kept playing the lottery, and I'm not sure if California's lottery system was fucked up, but I think we had 2 or 3 repeat winners. So a guy would win like $1 million one week, and he'd be like, hey! And then 6 months later, you'd see him back later, he won like $6 million, and he'd be like, hey! And still didn't speak a lick of English, and that really pissed people off. So it's one of those dumb luck things, and that's all it is. I mean, it is a game of chance for sure. But he already had $1,000 in the bank. Now he's got $179,000, at least gross, not net, of course, but gross.
Right.
It's like the government robbing us of our Rita or whatever that is. You are listening to This Show Is a Joke. I almost said the science fiction show. That's how.
That goes back a ways.
It does. It's bad memes. You're listening to This Show Is a JK with your pals Keith Pennell and Jason Tudor. We are happy to have you along. We are recording live on a Saturday night. If you want to listen to this, or if you want to watch us do this, our plan is to do this every Saturday night. We haven't quite triangulated what platform we're going to do this on yet, but right now we're doing it on our Facebook page, which seems like a good place to do it once we build up a following. But we may think about doing it on Twitch or somewhere else just because random people come on. So I was on Twitch last night, and one of the things, I do a couple of things on Twitch. One of the things I do is I broadcast live sessions of my flight simulator stuff. This is things you don't know. I'm surprising you with this. So if I'm trying to land the F-14 on a carrier and I do a shitty job, everybody can see it. And then the other thing I do is broadcast my baseball simulations from Out of the Park 21, which is awesome. And if you love baseball, I highly recommend it. I am not paid by them. I just want to let you know that up front. I just love the game. But the other thing I've decided to try to do is offer some writing and illustration and other advice. I hate the word advice, but just whatever that I can do. But I also think I want to tell the story of how I made my comics and the process of doing that, because I think it might help somebody down the road, right? So anyway, I'm hanging out, and I said, all right, I'll give myself 90 minutes, right? So I kind of started out and said, hey, I'm here if you want to ask writing questions. And actually, I got one kid who came on, and he told me the plot of his whatever he was working on. It was fantastic, and he's working on this sort of cyborg thing, and he's telling me all these things he's doing to humanize it. I'm like, this is great. You should really write the shit out of this and submit it and go get money for it. And he agreed. He was very smart. So he leaves. The next person that comes on is a guy from the Ukraine. He says, how often are you going to be here? I really like what you're doing. I want to come back. I said, I haven't decided yet, but probably once or twice a week. So what I've decided on is like Thursdays at 10 or something like that. So I told him that, and that was it. The third person comes on and goes, show me your feet. And I went, what?
I'm sorry, what?
He said, show me your feet. So I said,
your lower appendages.
Yeah. He said, show me your feet. And I get that there are people into feet. More power to you. Get your freak on. I support your kink. We all have our different kink. But he's like, show me your feet. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm here for. And then about 2 minutes later, he called me the N-word.
So there's nothing in whatever you are putting on there to say Jason Tudor or help with writing or whatever you're calling it.
It does. So what I do is about every 5 or 6 minutes, I have something copy and pasted in a notepad that says, this is my purpose here tonight. And I copy it, and then I paste that into the chat, and I say, here's what I am doing. And this guy came on.
Anywhere that you're copying and pasting, does it say feet?
No, and my feet are sexy. I have size 13 feet, which are appealing to many people for some reason. And but I did not say that. What I said was, hi, I'm here to help with, if you want to talk about writing, illustration, making comic books, podcasting, or whatever, I'm your dude for the next 90 minutes. And again, I had a couple
by the way, I'll show you my feet.
No, I did not say that. It did not say that. It did not say Jason will show you his feet. It said I'll talk about writing, illustration, and a couple of other things. But that's it, right? So
not writing about feet, illustrating
negative.
About feet.
Nothing about my head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Nothing about any of that shit. It just said writing, illustration. That's it. I did not offer to show my feet, my penis, anything else that's sort of even vaguely Pornhubish. Nothing, none of that. I just said, hey, look, this is what we're gonna do, and here's what we're gonna do. And he said, right after the Ukrainian guy, show me your feet.
Was that how he didn't care about writing? He didn't care about a story? No. He said, hi, show me your feet.
That's it. Show me your feet. And then when I said, no, we're not doing that, I'm focusing on writing, this, that, and the other thing, he said the N-word, which I would never say out loud. Everybody knows what the N-word is, so I'm not going to repeat it. And admittedly, he used the A version, the one with the A on the end versus the ER. So that's something, But he did call me the N-word, and I thought that was funny. But no, I didn't offer to show my feet to him at any time. Darren's here. Say hi to Darren.
This was all typed, right?
Yeah.
Darren, we're talking about feet.
Right, we're talking about my feet specifically, Darren, since you're here. Somebody wanted to see my feet last night in a chat I was having about writing, and I didn't do that because I didn't offer that. And
you should have just had him on.
Keith
and say, well,
there you are.
How much would you pay for that?
Well, see, so I got counseled on that, believe it or not, like I was a young airman. I got counseled on that shit, right? I said, I put it on my Facebook last night. I said, hey, what did I say? I said, just finished a stream on Twitch. Someone asked me to see my feet. I said no. He called me the N-word. And my friend Marie Ann from Canada, who I really like a lot, she's very smart.
Go Canada.
Yeah, claim Canada. She said, why didn't you just get him to make a donation to see your feet? And I was like, fuck, that's a good idea. Because I'll take your money. You know, if there's the right amount of money. I mean, so let me ask you this, since we're here. Maybe Darren can, and you can both weigh on this. What's the right amount of money to show my feet on Twitch?
I'm not a feet person. I'm the wrong dude to ask for that.
There's got to be a price,
but
though.
I'll tell you what, I haven't had a date in so long. I would show a lot for a donation.
What's Darren going to say? Darren, how much money should I have asked for to show my feet on Twitch? We're going to wait for him to respond. And then we should get on with our golf story, because that is fucking hilarious. Are you looking at your phone? Is PJ on? Why isn't PJ here? What is he doing specifically that he can't?
Because I'm sure it's Saturday night in San Antonio, and he's probably at a bar.
Okay,
so actually, it's not Saturday night in San Antonio.
So Darren just hit the chat. He said the exact amount that I was thinking. What is do you see it?
No, I can't see it.
Okay, so it's $20. He said $20 is the right amount. You are, for some reason, you're dropping. My wife must be streaming something on Netflix because you're squeezing up sometimes. He says $20, and that was the amount I was thinking was $20 to show my feet. So since he said 20, I'm going to go 25 next time somebody asks me, because I think my feet are worth 25.
Well, and the fact that that term when he got mad, there's nothing about your name that I don't know. That's not the kind that's not the kind of person you want a donation from.
Green is green money, so I'll take that. If he wants to see my feet, I'll do one of these deals right here where I'll just, I'll foist them up and I'll put them right there on the screen. But I mean, it's a matter of, because I just didn't think of it, and she was absolutely right. Look, everything's worth a price, and I don't think I'm necessarily whoring myself out by showing my feet on camera. I mean,
well, your wife, I know Dee Dee, and Dee Dee just wants more antiquing money.
See? You get me. Exactly right. You're listening to This Show is a JK, which means joke, but it also means your pals Jason and Keith. We are live right now on Facebook, joined by our pal Darren and a couple of others. We thank you for joining us on the live feed, which is going to catch fire soon. I know it is. It's going to catch fire. It's going to catch, as Michael Martin Murphy said, it's going to catch wildfire very soon. And
nice.
We're very excited about that. And if you want to listen other places, though, the main product that we spawn out of this is our audio podcast. And you can get that, as it says right here on the screen, on iTunes, on Spotify, and on Google Play. We should probably begin our discussion about golf.
Okay. So, as I said, Thursday was a beautiful day, an absolutely cloudless,
probably
77 degrees.
Probably the best day we've had in a very long time.
We said, hey, the golf courses are open.
Right.
Let's go play. So Jason and I decided to travel the 40 miles to the Army 9-hole course in Baumholder.
Yeah.
Baumholder's not a huge base.
9 holes. Well, it's a big base, mission. But the golf course isn't very big.
Right. The golf course is, and it lives up to its name of Rolling Hills.
Yes. It does.
Oh, my.
It does.
So, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, so there's a course in Texas that used to be on the former Kelly Air Force Base that had some sort of undulating hills and things like that. And I think comparatively, these were canyons and valleys that we were playing in. These were not rolling hills that we were playing in. And I think that's important to say, to clarify as you press on with sort of the retelling of this story. And I will embellish as you tell the story, but I want to go ahead.
So we get there, and the first thing we do is obviously we go into the pro shop to pay. We're trying to keep our social distancing. There's plexiglass between us and the cashier and that kind of thing. And first thing Jason does, because he's getting a little hangry.
Yeah, I was hungry. I was hungry as fuck.
He was looking for food.
Right.
And they didn't have a huge selection.
They did not. They had Snickers bars and a couple of other little things, but that was about it. I was disappointed. I was hoping the pro shop snack bar was open where you can always so just 21 years in the military has taught me, you walk into any bowling alley or pro shop on a military base, you know what you're going to get? The best BLT you've ever eaten in your life. Bar none. Period. End dot. But it wasn't open, so I had to take 2 Snickers bars and an actual real Coke, which I haven't drank in like 4.5 years. But yeah, so I got 2 Snickers bars, my friend.
And they had a second cooler.
Right.
But she said it was just for the Germans.
Well, she didn't say it was just for the Germans. She said that's the German stuff, and if you want to buy it, you got to pay for it in cashola, in euros. And it was like your Demon Fluid, Diet Pepsi, and then there was some alcohol-free beer in there, and there was a couple of other, but it wasn't anything substantive. Like there wasn't like a pretzel with mustard in there. There wasn't like a Weisswurst in there or anything like that. It was literally just demon juice and like some birdseed, and I think that was it.
I think you mean Nectar of the Gods, but you're saying it funny, so there.
It's my accent.
So it's right. You decide to pay for both of us, which silly boy.
I'm a generous man. What can I say?
You are. So we 2 rounds of 9 holes because it's just a 9-hole course.
Yeah.
And we share a cart.
I think it's pertinent that we say how much it cost. And I'm only saying this because of how this saga ends. So just so you know, if you're listening on the home game, it was 2 rounds of golf, a cart for 2 people, a few snacks.
2 9-hole rounds.
That's right, 2 9-hole rounds, and a few snacks, and that was just north of $45. All right, press on.
Right. So we get out there, and there were guys that weren't even in the parking lot when we were there. So we get up to the hole, you and I, and we thought, okay, well, this looks like a tee box.
Yeah.
First of all, we had to figure out which section we're teeing off from, because there's the ladies' tee box, there's the senior citizen tee box, there's the tee box we usually tee off from, and then there's the longer hitter tee box, and then some places there's the blacks for the professionals, and these are marked by those colors.
That's right.
And usually they're red for women,
for
seniors, white for us normal people, blue for the heavy hitters, and then black for the pros.
That's right.
Not there.
These were new colors that they had on the little balls that identified where you were supposed to tee off. They were like eggshell, and like the yellow wasn't yellow; it was more like urine, and then there were the red ones that weren't really red; they were more like puce, which is the color of a blood-bloated tick. And then I didn't even see any of the big hitter tees. If they were black, I didn't even know because I didn't see them. But these were the wrong colors. I mean, these colors were on another. I mean, as an illustrator, as a colorblind illustrator, no less, I need a lot of like sort of visual cues to make sure that I don't mix up purple with blue. I've done that and almost lost the company I worked for a lot of money because of that. Fortunately, we got it fixed. So I need like the hex colors and everything to be just right. But these colors, I was like, I mean, it was one of the first things I noticed, right? I'm like, are those the gold tees or the white tees? And you're like, those are the white tees. I'm like, are they doing something with HGTV? Because they're off-white and they don't appear to be the right color. It was very strange.
I'm surprised they weren't shiplap. You know, so we go to tee off and we go. Then we finally look down the
Shiplap is good.
Ish.
Yeah.
And where the hell are we going?
Oh, this is the best.
There was rough, and for those of you who don't play golf, rough is the higher grass that will snag your ball.
Right.
And, you know, it's a couple of inches high. It's not fairway, which is more like a carpet.
Yeah.
The fairway was about 80 yards up and about 40 yards to the left.
Right. So when I talked earlier about like the difference between the Kelly Air Force Base course, which was a similarly sort of rolling hills course, and this course, the difference with this course is it's like you're in a foxhole when you start and you hit your ball and then you leap out of the foxhole with your bayonet and you run to the next foxhole to see where your fucking ball landed. And it's like, okay, where did it land? And this first hole, as I recall, was a dogleg right? And we didn't know anything. And remember, we didn't know anything. We didn't know the layout of the hole. We were looking at the scorecard and going, all right, well, it says here in this two-color illustration that it's a dogleg right. And apparently the pin is at the end of this dogleg right, just beyond a sand trap. What they didn't show you on the fucking illustration was there was a giant pond. I mean, the pond was huge. And then my favorite part, I don't know if you should say this part or not, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. My favorite part, the greens were under repair. So they just jammed a red flag in the middle of some dirt and said, that's your hole, pal. Hit it there.
Yeah.
And we were both like, what? I mean, seriously, it was...
We get down there, we hit our second shot, or we go to hit our second shot.
Right.
Where the hell are we hitting it? There's that big pond down there, but I don't see a flag between here.
Right.
And one of us, I don't remember which one, just happened to look over the pond. Again, the dog.
That was you.
Through another tree. Hey, there's a red flag up there. You think that's where we're going?
Right.
Oh, yeah, let's hit it up there.
But hang on. I think we're both burying the lead here. So the course that we're playing on... Right. So the course that we're playing on, first of all, is a mutual use course, and the MWR folks who run it do a great job. It's what we're talking about right now is the fact that we never played it and we're unfamiliar with it, and this is our encounter with it. But that said, there were some other challenges. But so the lead Keith is burying is. Yes, there was a red flag jammed in the middle of the fairway that said, hit your fucking ball there. But there were like two other flags on the course, one for the Frisbee golfers that went out there, and another one for the kickball, or whatever that is, the kickball golfers? Foot golf. And it's like this big bucket of corn that they've cut out of the middle of the fairway and jammed like a purple or a blue flag in. I don't know because of my color blindness. And they said, that's where the kickball goes. And I'm like, okay. So as a golfer, when you're lining up your shot and you're going, because this is on the first hole, we're like, which fucking flag am I aiming for? And then we eventually figured out it was the red flag. And that was incredibly confusing.
And he's not joking when he says, okay, the greens are being seeded.
Right.
Which means they do that every year, both winter and spring,
right,
or fall and spring. So the grass in the greens where you putt will grow better, grow finer, so they can keep it cut short, and be a good green and healthy.
Right.
But they didn't tell us that. They didn't tell us, hey, look for the red flag. They didn't tell us, hey, the greens are not open.
They didn't tell us shit. What they said was, let me repeat what she said. She said, I said, should we take a cart or should we walk, Keith? Now, I have an artificial knee, so I'll just throw that out there. And neither of us were really keen on walking simply because it was later in the day. We had already worked a full day. And we really just wanted to get on the cart. And we knew we were going to have to rush anyway to get as many holes in as we possibly could. So we were sort of like, okay, let's... But then I said, well, let's walk. And then Keith's like, and I'm like, okay, let's get a cart. And the woman's like, yeah, just get as many holes in as you can before 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 o'clock, which is totally different than what I was told the day before by another employee.
Right.
So anyway.
Yeah.
So we finally get up to where we're both kind of chipping at this flag. And I'm expecting, because I've been at courses where the greens have been under repair, been seeded.
Right.
But what they do normally is cut basically a new green, cut it down so that so you can putt.
Yeah.
Oh no. On this first hole, there was PVC pipe, maybe as big as a golf hole.
It's literally like some
flag jammed in it, and then just short grass.
It's like some poor NAF employee who's getting paid $9.75 an hour. Is like, he had the flag in his hand, and he's just looking around, and he went, "Here, boom," and just jammed the thing in the ground. Went, "That's your hole," and that was it. I mean, that was it. And it sort of looked like maybe they had mowed around it like a week ago, but so it was all very rugged. And the foreshadowing that the woman was doing with us when we got the cart was lost on us. Exactly right. It's a perfect way to say that, Keith. She was saying, just get as many holes in as you can, because it was the wild, wild west when you got out there. It was.
Now, I will say the fairways, when we were able to find them,
yes,
were cut very nicely.
Yeah.
I think it's a very unique course. I think when everything is
unique
up and running,
is a good word.
When the greens will be in shape, I think it will be a very cool course to play.
Right.
Once in a while.
Right.
I'll tell you what, when we hit, and we only got 5 holes in. Now, some of that is,
and that was literally 5 holes was 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Because she's like, well, you can bring the cart back at like 5:10, 5:15, and Keith and I are not about that. Look, if she tells us 5 o'clock, we're going to get the cart back at 5 o'clock. So we're on the 5th hole. I'm like, hey, we got 5 minutes. And, we're just sort of, all right, so at some point, Keith had the brilliant idea, let's just hit toward the greens, and then we'll figure out the score, because that's a bit more of a better play. So we were doing that, but we still only got, it was 5 holes, right? 4 or 5?
5 holes.
It was 5, yeah,
now,
okay.
Part of that, I will freely admit, is us looking for our golf balls. Wasted some time.
That was probably the second worst day I've had for golf balls in my golfing resume ever.
But I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, or Darren.
Hi, Darren.
On the 5th hole, Jason smashed.
That was a beautiful drive.
And he was just a short chip shot off a long par 4 green. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty to watch. Now, having said that, since we didn't play 6, 7, 8, and 9, I can't vouch for those. But number 5, because it goes over a hill,
right? And
when you start coming down that hill and you see Wetzel Housing, which nobody but maybe Darren will know what that is. The housing at Baumholder on the military installation is 1950 era stairwell apartment housing.
Totally.
The buildings are white and they just go up, stair-stepped up a hill.
Right.
There at Baumholder. And you might not think that that's big effing deal, Keith, you dumbass. But it is a sight to behold. It's one of my favorite sites.
It's pretty nice.
Military installation I've been to. And when you come down that hill to hit towards the green on number 5, Wetzel Housing is the backdrop. And I love that. And I would go play that course again just to see that.
Well, and there were some spectacular vistas, no doubt. I mean, I saw that phone. I gotta post it, but that photo of you in front of the lake that we didn't know existed because it wasn't on the scorecard, hitting that shot, that's really good. And the hills are it's a very appealing, beautiful German countryside. Baumholder is in the middle of the German country. There's no question about that. The golf course is definitely deep in the heart of Texas sort of place. So, you're playing in a very beautiful sort of vista. The challenge was we just had no idea what was happening. We were like, where's the fairway now? What? And even on hole 1, we're like, are we on the fairway or is the fairway to our right? I mean, it was strange doings.
It was. And then, they ended up charging, we didn't realize this until afterwards. They realized charging us the upwards of $45 that you said.
Yeah.
for 5 holes.
$9
they knew
a
we
hole.
weren't going to be able to do 5 holes or 9 holes. So, okay, MWR has to get their money, especially after being shut down for 2 months or whatever.
Yeah,
I get that, and I'm happy to contribute to that. But it was, and of course, you and I being you and I, not every shot we hit is perfect. Not even near every shot we hit is. Not even every other shot we hit is perfect.
All my shots are perfect.
So, you are a lying ass. So, needless to say, that brings up a lot of excuses.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our bracket tonight.
All right. So I want to predicate this by saying I suggested a bracket earlier today, but I have no idea what's on it. None.
This is the best bad golf excuse bracket.
This is a good bracket.
And I made these up. These all came out of my head. 10 excuses.
Great. We have no authentic golf excuses, just all of Keith Powell's worst ones.
That's right.
All right.
Things I've heard, things I've been told, things I've said, things you've said, whatever.
All
right. So we have 2 play-in brackets.
All right, 2 play-in. Wow, this is all right. You did have a couple hours to design this, so I'm excited. All right, hit me with it.
All right. On the left side, I had the wrong club.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or first time I played here.
Wow, those are both pretty tight. I think I had the wrong club is one of those that you hear a lot, though. First time I played here is one of those, but fairways and greens and roughs and tee boxes and sand traps are, whatever. I think I had the wrong club is one of those, I really don't know how to play golf very well sorts of excuses. And I'm going to go with I had the wrong club.
Okay. When we played Ramstein last time, I actually did that on that short par 3. Let's see. 1, 2. I think it was hole number 5, I think, that goes back towards the road.
Yeah, it is. It's 5 or 6, yeah.
6.
I've hit a ball onto that road the first time we played.
Yeah. I used the wrong club on that hole. Anyway, okay. So the other play-in bracket is somebody moved in my backswing or coughed in my backswing.
Yeah.
Or talked in my backswing.
Yeah.
And the maintenance at this course just sucks.
I've never bitched about the maintenance of a course, though I think given our conditions yesterday, there was an opportunity to, but I understand under the current conditions how the maintenance of the course may have lacked. What was the first one again?
Somebody did some distracted me in
that's it. That is the one of the ultimate, like, I don't want to say amateur, because amateur means you're taking it seriously, but that is one of the more like rookie excuses ever. Like if you're just out hacking away and you're like, oh, did you cough or something? And you're like, yeah, maybe. Whatever. But I'll go with that one. I just think maintenance of the course is one of those, like, I think that's like a 301 type of excuse versus a 101 type excuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way I look at it is playing it where we play on military courses and things like that is, A, nobody's a professional. And B, you're playing on a military course. You could have aircraft going over. You could have artillery going off in the
C-17s.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I mean, we had 4 sonic booms 2 days ago. If you can't handle that when you're golfing on a military course, you got to think about yourself.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So back to the other side. So we have I had the wrong club.
Yeah.
Versus the sun was in my eyes.
That's a good one. Wow. I still think those are both really good. Good job for you for thinking those up. Sun was in my eyes is a good one. I still think I had the wrong club prevails simply because it's a duality. It's actually saying aloud I had the wrong club predisposes you for a sort of I have taken golf lessons. I have experienced life with a golf pro. I understand each of the clubs in my bag. Therefore, what I'm saying is I picked the wrong club, which is just some fucking hubris on a Zeus, Apollo, Mercury, Athena type level, versus the other one, which is the sun was in my eyes, which is a valid excuse. I mean, if you're pointed, east, sort of east-northeast, and whatever the hole is on, that could be a valid excuse. I can dig that. But if you say, I had the wrong club, your ass better be David Duval, Greg Norman, Tiger Woods, sort of, just, you better know what each club in your bag can fucking do versus, because you could cop out easy and go, oh, the sun was in my eyes. Like, oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, it is sunny out here today. But if you say I had the wrong club, like, what fucking golf PhD are you working on? So I'll go with I had the wrong club.
There have been days playing 18 holes or even in a tournament with my dad where I've been on about hole 6 or 7, and my excuse was I should have never got out of bed this morning. So, all right,
that's a good
Moving
excuse.
On in our final 8 here.
Yeah.
We have somebody did something in my backswing, and I'm just fucking hungover this morning.
Yeah, see, we play on military golf courses, so I'm going with hungover. I mean, that is a good one. I mean, look, I've played in enough best ball tournaments to know you can get really shit-faced, even when you're playing. And guys will say, "Look, I'm really just carrying over from last night." It's like, okay, right, cool, whatever. So I'm going with that one because again, I think you're okay with being proud of being. Look, I'm kind of hungover. Like, oh, okay, cool. It's a best ball. Don't sweat it. We got it. We got it.
I played in a tournament, and I will not say names at Fort Sill. Those. Unit best ball tournaments, blah blah blah.
Those are the best.
The CG Scramble.
Right. That's how I got my friend Les Benito interested in golf. I'll tell that story when you're done.
The guy bent over to put the tee in the ground, stood up and did one of those. Took a knee.
Oh no.
To put the tee in the ground.
Oh no.
And stood back up and did another one of those.
Oh no.
And then hit the ball. So. He had tied one on the night before. I've never seen anybody take a knee to put the tee in the ground.
I thought you were going to say he chucked hard. I wasn't sure.
No.
All right.
No, not. I've never seen that. All right. So moving on. Let's see. Where are we? Dude, I'm sore from lifting weights.
Okay.
And I didn't warm up.
That's it. The sore from lifting weight thing is a exceptional excuse. I mean, the dude has to come at you like he's fucking, Mr. Universe. I'm sore from, and you're like, okay, I get it. That's what you do. Veins popping out of the arms, whatever. That's your thing. Got it. But the other one, what was the other one again? Say it again because it's funny.
Didn't warm up.
That's it. That is on the same level as I chose the wrong club because it implies that warming up somehow makes you better at picking your clubs and also hitting the ball better, which it does. I get to a point, but if you say it implies some sort of hubris of, well, I'm a pro. And I went to stroke the ball, and I sucked, and I didn't warm up. Sorry.
Right.
If I had warmed up, you would have seen a 320-foot drive, or 320-yard drive. I'm sorry, 320-yard drive to the middle of the fairway.
I both not had 324 feet.
That bounced like it was on a pillow and came to a stop like it was ordered to do so. And so when somebody says, oh, I didn't warm up, that's exactly what it is. It's the same kind of elitist mentality as I chose the wrong club. So that one's going forward.
That's right. All right. And the last one in our final 8 is, I just got a cheap ball, one of those cheap logo balls.
Okay.
And going against, man, I need to drink a beer.
That's a good one. I mean to drink a beer. And it's because I've golfed on too many military tournaments. again, I'm holding up the bottle of the Imperial Blonde, and I'm having a pretty good podcast right now. So I can't fault the guy.
Take a picture of that and send it to me so I can go get one.
Oh, it's good. It's the one that replaced Pirat, I think. Just don't. I would suggest. I hadn't get the dark one yet, but get the blonde one. But I think, man, I need a beer is great. I think it's a great excuse. I think it's one of those that you kind of go, oh yeah, if he loosened up a little bit, had a beer, it'd be a better round. So that's my choice. That's what I would go forward with.
Okay, so now we're in our final four.
Oh shit! All right.
All right. So we have. Where am I? Oh no, because I haven't been writing down the whole thing. Man, I'm hungover.
Yeah.
Against man, I need a beer. I didn't plan that. which are not mutually exclusive.
Oh.
Really.
Wow, talk about two titans going head to head. I think man, I'm hungover wins because that's one of those you can roll that through 18 holes and you're okay. But man, I need a beer is solved pretty quickly within like 3 holes because the MWR person on the beer cart comes around and everybody buys a Miller Lite and you pound that thing and then you're off and running. But man, I'm hungover is one of those. I wonder if he's going to get through all 18 holes or whatever's going to happen.
Right.
So I think the better excuse there is the man, I'm hungover, simply because it's an enduring and more people are like, yeah, I can relate to that. That's I'm down. Yep. So I'll pick man, I'm hungover for that one.
This one's going to be tough too.
All right.
I used the wrong club versus I didn't warm up.
Oh man, that is like the same excuse, isn't it? That is the same shitty golf excuse born of hubris, tied to the notion that at some point you in your mind created yourself as a fantastic golfer, that you somehow looked at every club in the bag and went, I know all of these. I know the 4 hybrid. I know the 7. I know what I can hit on the 9. I need the putter. And I'm sure in the 2 times or 3 times that you and I have been out, I've used at least one of those. So I'm guilty as anybody is at this shit. But that said, this is tough. I'm going to go.
I can tell you, I used it when, the one, I forget the whole number. 6. No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, 6, where you hit it towards that big pine tree,
yes,
and then the hole goes left.
Yes.
I think
it goes way left. Yeah, it's almost like a right angle. It goes that much left.
Yes. It turns hard left. I hit a beautiful shot straight down the middle, but it didn't get the distance I thought, why the hell? Because I still had the club in my hand.
Right.
Why the hell didn't I get the distance that I thought I should? And I looked at the club. I had the wrong club.
Yeah.
But saying that.
But you've played golf.
Does not mean you weren't the stupid shit that pulled out the wrong club.
You have earned and I know this, you have earned your bona fides, as somebody called it, but bona fides. As someone who has played golf and understands what each club in your bag can do. That's different. It's this putz who comes out for best ball only tournaments and other things where he just shows up and it's like, hey, me and my dick are here. And then he says, I picked a 9-iron instead of a 6. That was the wrong thing to do. I can usually hit a 9-iron about 300 yards. And that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I'm in agreement that it was the wrong club. Is such a rookie excuse. It's all at once trying to say I fucked up the shot, but at the same time trying to say, but I know enough about golf to know I should have used the next club down or whatever. That's my favorite. I don't know. I see this one coming in at the home stretch, but let's keep going.
So our championship game here.
Oh shit! All right, we're already there.
I used the wrong club.
Yeah.
Against, I have a hangover. Dude, I'm hungover.
Oh, that is Ollie Foreman right there. That is tough. Ollie Frazier even. Both valid excuses. One for the wrong reasons, one for the right reasons. The hangover excuse, I think, is completely valid. If you've served more than 90 seconds in the military, it makes perfect sense. The wrong club mentality, if you've played golf with anybody for more than 90 seconds, it makes sense. This is a tough one. I think
bad golf excuse.
Yeah, best bad golf excuse. Well, then, put in that context, then it's got to go to I used the wrong club. In my mind, because it's a bad excuse for I'm not skilled enough. You picked that one too? I see it. Yeah, right on. All right, so good. It's the perfect bad excuse. It's the one that says, "Oh fuck, I have no idea what I'm doing. What can I reach into?
I just embarrassed myself."
Yeah, what in my context list can I pull out and use as an excuse? I suck. My mother didn't raise me right. I've had too much to drink. Nope. You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with I chose the wrong club, which is such a bullshit excuse.
Did you wait? Did you just say my mother didn't raise me right?
That's what I said. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I said that shit. Yeah. Not that anybody would ever say my mom didn't raise me right, but still. So yeah, I think this is an easy one, and I think this was a fantastic bracket. By the way, congratulations for putting this together. But I think I chose.
The next time I miss a putt, I'm saying, "Damn it, my mom didn't raise me right."
I think I'm pretty sure when we get our merchandising going, we need to have a fucking T-shirt that says "I chose the wrong club." I think we need that. We need to have that. That's perfect. That's the winner for sure. That's a good one. You know, and as soon as I heard it in the early rounds, I'm like, that's fucking going all the way. That's the one. Because it just purely exemplifies the sort of bullshit and the sort of pseudo-intelligence that people, when they get out on the course, are like, all right, there's a lot of good people around here. What can I proxy in here to make it seem like I'm smart? Oh, fuck, I've only got a second. Oh, fuck, I used the wrong club. And that's it. And they go, yeah, all right. All right, Willie, you used the wrong club. Got it. If he had gone with, well, my mother didn't raise me right, at least that would make more sense than I fucking used the wrong club.
Did not make it go straight right.
Yeah.
You know, the wrong club did not do that.
The wrong club did not make it frickin' slice like a hurricane and hit the Allied Air Force headquarters on the right. Because I think that's 5 or 6. When you hit that slice, that thing's going out into the road, but just over the road is the Allied Air Force headquarters. So give me a break.
Number 3 at Ramstein, you can break a windshield.
Exactly. I mean, you can do that in a couple places. I mean, if I hit a good drive, I think it's on whatever the dog leg left hole is, the one you were talking about with the tree. You
6.
Sort of hit it 6. So if I hit hard, I mean, if I hit long on 6, I'm going in that road that's just over that fence past the tree. I know I can do it. I usually club down to like a 3 and then try to hit that tree, and I usually end up slicing myself. But I don't say, oh, I chose the wrong club. I say, fuck, I got a bad slice. That's my thing from time to time. But I'm pretty sure I could get it out in that street that goes to Mockenbach or whatever it is, and that would be it. So, good bracket.
All right, so that's our golf bracket. Did you, we have a couple of celebrity passings to talk about. Did you hear about these?
Well, I know one. Hit me with the other one. Who was the other one?
Which one do you know?
I know Little Richard passed.
Okay, that's Little Richard was the second one I heard about.
Yeah.
Wop bop wop bop
wop bop loo bop wop bam boom.
That one, and then Roy of Siegfried and Roy.
That's right.
Passed away.
You know
and that was apparently COVID-19 related.
It was. So let's talk about Little Richard first, and the fact that he was. Oh shit! Did I just turn off the power on my other monitor? That's cool. Little Richard.
Raise you right.
I mean, if you sort of, and I'm a music nut, so forgive me for taking a little bit longer than I should, but if you sort of pin the dots back from, say, Dawkins breaking the chains, you can connect them with Little Richard, a wop baba loo bop, a wop bam boom, because he was doing things that were edgy and out there and in your face and big. He was dressing in I mean, I just read the article on the obituary that said he was dressing in an androgynous way, so he didn't necessarily freak out white people when he played, and so on and so forth. So you can connect the dots from Little Richard to heavy metal without a problem, and I don't think any heavy metal problem would have a problem with that analogy. I think you can connect the dots on a lot of things, and many of the artists. What was interesting, what I read today, was he only made music of that kind for a very short time, and then he moved on to becoming a minister and doing some things in gospel music, and then he went, I want to get back, and he never really got it back. But the bigger point was that first bit of music, the Long Tall Sally, Tutti Frutti, and the other music, that was such an indelible impression on what happened that Bob Dylan, that the Beatles, that many other artists carried forward, and that led to
even Jerry Lee Lewis, who got more props and more press.
That's right.
Is what I'm trying to think of. How do I not know that word? More press than Little Richard did, for the obvious reason.
Yes.
Skin color. So yeah, Little Richard was amazing. And his flamboyance, I think, turned a lot of people off during that time.
Yeah.
But you cannot discount what he did for rock and roll.
No,
and
it
music
was
in general, but especially rock and roll.
It was amazing, and I think he was just one of those iconoclast stars who made his impression and then stopped, and then people went, holy shit, that's really good. I need to do more of that in order to get myself noticed, and people just imitated him in different ways. I mean,
Chuck Berry,
up to now,
all that. Chuck Berry was basically Little Richard with a guitar.
That's it. They're just willing to extend. They knew what people wanted. They were willing to extend the envelope. They were willing to move forward. And the sad thing was, Little Richard did 2 songs, and I don't remember what they were. I read this today, but Pat Boone redid them, and they charted higher, and that sucks. So it just shows the okay. So the other one was the other
Roy from Siegfried and Roy.
So Siegfried and Roy is interesting. Well, you first. Tell me about your sort of Siegfried and Roy story.
I have nothing. I've always wanted to see their show.
Right.
Maybe they were the Tiger Kings before Joe Exotic.
Good point.
But I don't know a lot about them other than what's been in the press.
Right.
Especially when the accident happened, when the Tiger Manticore put.
That sounds like Roy a D&D animal, Manticore.
Yes. When put him in his mouth, and boy, that was a weird thing to say.
That was.
But supposedly Roy was having a stroke, and the Tiger was trying to take him off stage because the Tiger sensed the stroke and was trying to get Roy off stage. That's according to Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah.
I don't know that
I think Tiger. I think the Tiger wanted to be a tiger and severed his spinal cord. That's what he did. Yeah. I think the story of Siegfried and Roy is very interesting. It's a very Las Vegas story. My friend Josh Gray, I think, will attest to that. It's a very sort of that act can only happen in Las Vegas. It can only that sort of thing can only happen in Vegas. It can't do anything else unless it were some cheap, carny sort of traveling show. But with the White
Wynnewood,
Tigers,
Oklahoma.
Yeah. So with the White Tigers and the whole thing, and doing whatever it was they did, that could only happen in Las Vegas. And hearing that the Tiger attacked him was sort of a little like, well, that's what tigers are supposed to do. That's what tigers do after long enough of being in captivity. They say, wait a minute, I'm a fucking tiger. And they show you that they're a tiger, and humans' response is to put them down. It doesn't mean I felt any...
I found this on the web for show you.
Hush up, Siri. I didn't say Siri. Did I say Siri? No, I didn't. I didn't say Siri once. That's silly woman. The bigger point is that tigers are going to be tigers, and this thing reacted the way it should. And I don't know that, as in any venue where this is supposed to happen, you have SeaWorld with the whales. You have other places where we take animals captive and expect them to just do what we say because we've trained them to do that. And then we get mad at them when they do things like sever Roy's spinal column, and then we put them down because they severed Roy's spinal column, and that's a bad thing. As humans, yes, I get the behavior. I'm old enough to understand why we do those things. It's that we continue to do them over and 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 over again, believing that at some point the tiger's just going to be like, You're right. I'm cool with all this. Let's just roll. I'm good. And not wake up in the morning and go, you know what? Fuck, I've had enough of this. I'm going to bite his spinal column in half, which is basically what happened. Now, again, predicating again, it doesn't mean I don't have any remorse for Roy. I have an immense amount of remorse for that. I think those two, their relationship was very rich. Siegfried has talked about that in the press many times. But I think Roy, his passing, and again, another coronavirus, an older 70-something coronavirus person, caught him with this virus. So it's very sad.
And then of course, how much time we have left?
We get as much time as you need. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day.
Sunday.
It is. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, rest in peace, Cindy, to my wife, Denise, and to all the mothers out there. This is your day. I'm trying to remember how Mother's Day started. I think it was a day of mourning. I think. I had to double check that. So, all right. Well, I think we're done then. Let me see. I'm looking at my list. I mentioned Dana White. NASCAR's coming back next week. I think that's the ultimate social distancing sport. You're in a box going 200 miles an hour, and nobody's breathing on you. So I think with the exception of the pit crews, which are kind of close when they're together, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. And I know I remember reading somewhere that one of the sports was, or maybe there was something that was only going to allow quarter capacity of people in the stadium, or something like that, which probably means they're going to charge them 4 times the amount to get in. But I think NASCAR is the ultimate social distancing sport. It'll be interesting to see. I read an article today about Jimmy Johnson, who's from El Cajon, California, which is a suburb of my hometown, San Diego, which is I always followed him. And he used to race at the El Cajon Speedway, where I used to go to a lot with my stepfather, and I loved it. And used to eat corn dogs and the whole thing. He said he's been racing on iRacing, which is something that I wanted to do, but it's kind of expensive, and it's not necessarily. I enjoy the flight sim thing more. But he said that he's been racing on iRacing, but I guess he's had a lot of crashes or something like that on iRacing. I'm not sure. So he's been getting taken to the grill on Twitter rather, for him crashing a lot on iRacing. So it'll be interesting to see when he comes back next week how he races. This is his final season as a NASCAR driver. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that's all handled with NASCAR. So those are the two big sports: baseball, basketball.
The simulator.
Huh?
The simulator is different than a real car.
Of course,
a real car you can feel, you can, all that. So, I'm not a big NASCAR fan.
Right.
But he'll be fine.
I remember because I had driven the simulated cars on my computer through Sierra Software and some other things, and then my wife bought me a birthday of driving a NASCAR at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it's entirely different. You're exactly right. There is as a human being, the things you are feeling, seeing, and going through, driving a car at 160 miles an hour, which I think I got up to 173, are different from those when you are sitting in front of a 32-inch monitor and going 130. It just is. And frankly, I did better driving the 173 mile an hour real car than I did driving the 165 mile an hour fake car, and I enjoyed it more, and I scared the shit out of the person who was with me in the car escorting me because he thought I was going too fast, and I thought, we're not going fast enough yet, and I think most people would have agreed with that. So
this is my experience, not yours.
Exactly. Shut the fuck up. That's it for This Show is a JK. We hope you've enjoyed the folly. If you like us and you want to listen to more, listen on iTunes. You can also listen on Spotify, where our friend John Benuzowitz tunes us in. And you can also find us on Google Play. I don't know the URL for that, but you can find all of that on our main page, which is on Libsyn, Libsyn, liberatedSyndication.com. We have a page there. Or you can go to my personal website, jasontudor.com, and you can pick up all of the subscription and all that shit there if you want to do that. Anything else you want to add, my friend?
I think it's been a great week and a great time talking to you.
I agree. So that's it for this broadcast. If you tuned in to join us, thank you very much. Thank you, Darren. Thank you to whoever else who popped in to see us do this silliness and explain why golfing at Bomb Holder was a challenge. We will join you next Tuesday with a new show. Have a great night, and we will talk to you soon. Bye!
Bye.